Hey y'all, I'm Tsunani, welcome and welcome back. In this video, I will show you a few of my art books which inspire me a lot. If you like videos like this, please tell me in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. We will start with two art books from Studio Ghibli. I'm a total Ghibli fan, and two of my favorite movies of Hayao Miyazaki are Totoro and Nausicaä. I don't know how to correctly pronounce Nausicaä. I'm sorry. And the very cool thing of this Nausicaä art book is that there is a lot of watercolor painted concept art in it. Let's have a look inside. Oh, and here you can see the cover underneath the protection book jacket. Before Nausicaä was made to a movie, Miyazaki drew a comic series of Nausicaä. And in this book you can see art and concept art for the mangas and also for the anime movie. It's a very thick book full of awesome sketches and concept drawing, like this, for example. I love this one. Her whole outfit and stuff is explained here. But also, like the cover promised, a lot of wonderful watercolor illustrations and watercolor sketches are in here. I love especially the watercolor sketches of the poisonous fungi forest and the cool creatures which are living in it. Miyazaki's mind-blowing creativity inspires me so much. How he develops his worlds, the people and animals who live in them, the houses and also the beautiful landscapes. This is just amazing. If you haven't watched this movie yet, then do it. It's a masterpiece. Oh, here you can see paintings for the intro of the movie. It has this ancient vibe. It's inspired of the ancient Maya or Aztecs, I think. The whole movie is a piece of art, and this book is so inspiring. The Totoro art book also shows a lot of concept art about the characters, movie scenes, and a lot of wonderful landscape illustrations. If you watched movies from Studio Ghibli before, you know about these beautiful landscape sceneries. This makes these movies to something very unique and special. On my to-do list is painting landscapes like this to learn how to set these wonderful lights and atmospheres and take this book as a reference. It's so interesting to see how a movie like this comes to life. All these concept sketches, the development of the characters, and then also the storyboards. Oh, here is Totoro's cave. I think this is one of the most famous pictures of this movie. Everybody knows, I guess. And again, if you haven't watched this movie yet, do it. It's so cute, a bit emotional, but insanely cute and mystical and heartwarming. So the next book is a book in German. I know most of you can't read German, but I wanted to show you this book anyways because it's so cool and so nice. It's a book with illustrations from Brian Froud and Ellen Lee. I'm sure a few of you know these very famous fantasy artists, and this book is all about elves, goblins, and other spooky creatures. The book is full of wonderful, magical illustrations and drawings and sketches. It's so inspiring. I love these nature creatures and the idea that they live in our gardens and fields and forests. If you like fantasy and all of these creatures, you would like this book, I think. I couldn't find it published in English, but there are a lot of more English books out there from Brian Froud and Ellen Lee. Perhaps you find something perfect for you. Their style is amazing, I think. It's good to have a few books to get inspired at home, but you don't need to buy them. Go to your library. They surely have a few awesome art books there to borrow. I'm just a collector of art books, comics, and all of the other nice inspiring stuff. If you like to have a look to more of my books or perhaps my comics, then tell me in the comments. The next book is about poster art. Perhaps you know JUXTAPOZ. They also have a magazine. They produce books and they are promoting contemporary artists. There's also one for illustrations, but I will show you only this poster art book today because I love to combine art with typography. And in this book are lots of good examples for this, also for good layouts, which is important for every artwork, or it's also a good thing in your sketchbooks to create a nice layout for your spreads. This book features a lot of awesome artists and designers. It's so inspiring to see how they combine their art and types on this poster format. Flipping through this book gives a lot of new ideas and shows you how different the artists worked on a poster design. When I'm looking on these pages, I have immediately the feel like grabbing my sketchbook and experiment with different layouts and ideas and types. I have a big love for typography and illustrated types. Yeah, in this book you can find a lot of wonderful examples and inspirations. The next book is a very good one. This is like a treasure chest. Inside are tons of sketchbook pages from a lot of artists, also a bit of street art pieces. This book is so thick and on kind of 270 pages you get a lot to see. For me, it's always so inspiring to see what other artists draw in their sketchbooks and how they are creative in their sketchbooks. Sketching, painting, collaging. I'm always so inspired when I'm thumbed through this book. It's filled with pure creativity. This is one of my most favorite art books because it shows what ideas can come to life in our sketchbooks and how amazing only rough sketches can look. What benefit it is to have a sketchbook and work in it. I can't show you everything, but I promise every page is awesome and here are a lot of pages. It is different to sit down with an art book like this and a cup of tea, then scrolling through other artists' work on Instagram. For me, art books are something really great and helpful. Do you also have art books at home, or do you prefer Instagram or Pinterest? Okay, this book was special. Next is Spectrum 14. There is a whole series of these art books. They are a compilation of very different fantasy art from a lot of artists. Again, in here you find more realistic painted stuff. Look at this, it's awesome. But also more comic style art, a lot of dark fantasy art, a lot of people drawing heroes, knights, creatures, monsters. There exists many of these Spectrum art books. All are a bit different. It's always very inspiring flipping through books like this to come to new ideas. If you like fantasy art, especially dark fantasy art, then check them out. Perhaps they inspire you as well. Also a book full of art from a lot of different artists is this HI FRUCTOSE art book. Perhaps you know HI FRUCTOSE? They also have an Instagram, they make awesome exhibitions, they also make magazines like JUXTAPOZ makes. HI FRUCTOSE features contemporary artists as well, and they all have something very special. A lot of these artists are well known by now. I'm following them on Instagram, and because that I found a bunch of new wonderful artists which I haven't known before and which inspire me a lot. I grabbed this book on a book fair about 10 years ago, and it's always and still inspiring to flip through it. As I said before, I really like to sit down and look at a few art books for new inspirations. I have a few art and design books which were aging badly. They are still nice to look at sometimes, okay, but time has changed. And this one feels still very fresh. I think because of the art inside is so timeless. So in the end, I have something special again, the Playful Type books. I have 2 of them. I don't know if there are more. These books are full of hand-lettered or illustrated types. I love working with letters. As I studied design back in the days, I worked with typography all the time, also my illustrations, and I also made hand-lettered illustrations for book publishers and stuff. So these books are full of inspirations for playing with typography, with colorful letters, how to use them in your work or use them as an art piece for themselves. 2 books full of wonderful examples made for type nerds like me. And now I'm fully carried away by these awesome hand letterings that I have to grab my sketchbook and start again to play around with type. It's so much fun. I can recommend trying this. Illustrate your first letter of your name with all the stuff around what you like most, and use a fine liner for a word and then a very bold acrylic pen for the same word. How the difference feel for you and what you can do with these letters then. Okay, you see, I love types, and this is something I definitely should do more again and combine it with my art. So this was it. I hope this video inspired you, or perhaps you found a book which you really like. Then all of the books are linked in my description. Don't forget to like and leave a little comment. This helps us creators a lot. Thank you so much. Also subscribe and click the bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your support. Then have an awesome week, my friends. See you next time. Oh, and tell me if you like to see more art-related books or comics. This was my first video like this. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.